It is July 20th, 1969. You are standing in Mission Control, Houston. The air smells of cigarette smoke and burned coffee. Every screen glows. Neil Armstrong's boot touches the lunar surface. The room erupts. The world erupts. And for one brief, electric moment, the Cold War feels like it doesn't matter. But what if that moment had never come? What if the Soviet Union had won the space race? Let's go back. Not to 1969, to 1957. On October 4th, a beach ball-sized metal sphere called Sputnik broke through Earth's atmosphere and began orbiting the planet. The Soviets had done it first. Historian Asif Siddiqui, in his study, Challenge to Apollo, calls it a moment of pure geopolitical shock. Washington didn't sleep that night. The panic was real. If the Soviets could put a satellite in orbit, they could put a warhead anywhere on Earth. Then came Yuri Gagarin, April 12, 1961. First human in space. Another Soviet first. The gap felt enormous. America responded with everything it had. Billions of dollars. The best engineers in the country. A president who pledged that America would land a man on the moon before the decade was out. Here is the hinge. In 1966, the Soviets were building their own moon rocket, the N-1. It was massive, ambitious, and plagued with problems. Chief designer Sergei Korolev, the man who had built the Soviet space program almost single-handedly, died on the operating table in January of that year. Without him, the program fractured. The N-1 failed 4 times without ever reaching orbit. But what if Korolev had survived? Aerospace engineer James Harford argued the N-1's engine problems were technically solvable. What if, in the spring of 1969, it was a Soviet cosmonaut stepping onto lunar dust? The ripple effects would have been staggering. A Gallup poll from 1969 showed nearly 60% of Americans believed the moon landing proved the superiority of their system. Lose that moment, and the argument flips. Soviet propaganda would have broadcast that landing to every nation on Earth. Proof, they would say, that communism had reached the stars first. NASA's funding, already under pressure, would likely have collapsed. Apollo ends early, and with it, the technology contracts that accelerated the microchip revolution. GPS, materials science. All of it delayed, diverted, or never developed. Historian Walter McDougall, in his Pulitzer Prize-winning book, The Heavens and the Earth, argues the space race was fundamentally about legitimacy. Who had the right model for the future? A Soviet moon landing wouldn't just have been a win, it would have been an argument. Would the Soviet Union still have collapsed in 1991? Perhaps. The economic rot ran too deep, but the confidence America carried into the 1980s, the sense that freedom could outperform fear, that edge comes from the moon. Remove it, and the Cold War's final chapter rewrites itself. You live in the world that Armstrong built. Every satellite above your head, every phone in your pocket, every GPS direction, downstream from one boot print in the dust. The Soviets came close. One surgeon, one operating table, one man's heart. And the whole sky might have looked different.